Antonio Banderas, Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Wesley Snipes, and producer Avi Lerner. Okay, welcome, gents. Let's get started with a hard-hitting and explosive question. This is for everybody, including Avi. Which was the worst injury that you suffered while making this film? Kellan, let's start with you and then work our way down.
What's your question? I mean, we just do stunts. We have motors blowing off in our faces, so I mean, I didn't really get hurt on anything. I had to learn how to use the motorcycle, so I kind of dropped that a few times over a tank, but that's about it.
Okay, you're walking, which is good.
Yeah, yep, I'm here.
Antonio?
I got an injury the first take that I did in the movie. And I carried all through the movie, but I didn't say that to anybody because I didn't want for them to think that I was just getting older. But it was just running up the roof to the helicopter. The first shot, I got a pain on my right knee, and now it's gone, but it just stayed there for a couple of months.
You're a trooper, I like it. And Sly?
That's it? That's it. God, I got a pain in the knee. I wake up with that. It's like, breakfast, knee pain. No, I mean, I literally, usually I grade the quality of a film by the intensity of the injury. Like if I do Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, I never get hurt. I do Rambo the Expendables, I break my neck, I hit my spine, I dislocate both shoulders. I go, this is gonna be a good movie. This is really lucky. So in this one here, I ended up really taking a fall on my back. I had to have some metal put in there. So if I'm squeaking, just deal with it, okay? It's not my shoes, it's my back.
And Jason?
Snapped a shoelace. It was very depressing.
Now, Jason actually saw death at the bottom of the Black Sea. He's very modest about it. Just drove about a 5-ton truck 60 feet down into black mud because I cut the brake line. And no one knows that. That's a new reveal, by the way.
And Wesley?
I broke a nail.
In someone's eye.
when Sly wanted to cut the brake line.
That's right.
No, I didn't get too many injuries on this one. I made it out of it alive. Negotiations was a little rough. But other than that, for the most part,
You know what's so funny, though? When we were standing around, and actually I filmed it, because as Jason was drowning, I was filming it with an iPhone. I guess that makes me a bit insensitive. I don't know. I just thought, this is a magic moment. And I want to get it. And I couldn't help him anyway, because I would have drowned. And afterwards, they pull him up. He's like pale, and then he's changing. And we're going, oh my God. And then we're all sitting around as Expendables in a group going, I wouldn't jump in after him. Shit, would you save him? Hell no, I wouldn't go in. I've drowned, I like the guy, but not that much. It's like all these real life heroes, when they're actually confronted and jump into the water, are you crazy? Get wet? No, not me.
I'd have been able to breathe 30 seconds earlier if you'd have took your foot off my head.
It was so funny, like, no, I'm not going to I might get hurt. Are you crazy? Oh, no, I can't swim well enough. It was great.
So Jason, at the moment like that, you really know who your friends are, right?
Exactly, yeah. I'll never work with him again.
You have no friends. I don't
Avi, I presume you sustained no injuries while making the movie, but I imagine scheduling these guys alone is a backbreaker in itself.
I get a brain surgery. I need a brain surgery when I see the price that it cost this to make this movie. But the worst part for me is actually to play tennis. I got a tennis elbow, so I want you to feel sorry for me.
You got
also.
wounded. When you went into your pocket, you found all these fish hooks in there instead of money. No, Avi, listen to me. I want to say he's the greatest. He supports us. This movie is expensive, and he stepped up, and we're really, really proud of it. It was not an easy shoot. He allowed us to have a second unit of 550, a first unit of almost 600. So we felt that we were really, really, really competitive, and I want to thank you for taking all your money.
Let's throw it over to you guys now. Put your hands up.
Which magazine?
Men's Fitness magazine.
It might work now. It might work now.
Circulation.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because
Men's thickness.
Oh, Men's Fitness. Okay.
You guys all talk about the kind of injuries it's inevitable that you're going to get making this kind of film. Is there anything you kind of do training-wise in the gym before the shoot starts to kind of prepare your body to help you with that?
You prepare, but there's just something about, you're going across cinder blocks and gravel and rebar, and you trip and you bust up, and you get a backblast from RPGs, and it gets serious. It's kind of like a weird sporting event when you do these sort of films. It's just like any sport. You're going to get injured. There's no getting away from it.
But is there anything you find helps you recover, or is there anything?
There's no question that everyone usually shows up really fit and goes downhill from there. We just said, it's true. But that's the way it is. So it's like by the end of the season, you know what you're going to look like at 90.
Thank you.
Yes, please, here in the front row.
Violence in this film seems to be less graphic than the previous two. Is that a deliberate thing?
Yeah. Anyone want to jump on? I guess I'll talk about it. Well, the idea of PG-13, we wanted to hit a broader audience. And because of our predecessors, looking at the Bournes and James Bond, we thought, they're pretty violent films. They're extremely graphic without pushing it. Of course, when we do the DVD, then you'll see the next 80 frames, and then you say, oh, there it is. But we thought we would convey it, and I thought also the amount of violence or the amount of warfare in this movie, if it was graphic, it'd be, after a while, like nauseating. It's just almost too much. Even though I personally enjoy it, I just think that it would be pushing the envelope. Also, it would diminish the humor. For example, Hail Caesar was going to die, literally. And he kept saying, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. I said, well, you're doing a TV show, you have to die. I'm sorry. If you really want to do that show, traitor. And literally he comes over, and he's almost had tears in his eyes. He goes, I don't want to die. And I'm sitting there with Avi, and it's almost like an execution. Where you're sitting there, oh, should we execute him? No. And, am I right? Am I lying? And we're sitting around, and it's an hour away. He is going to die. And that was the whole premise. Mel Gibson kills him, and it's, oh my God, it's now on. You killed Hail Caesar.
Don't give all the ending of the movie.
All right, he dies, but he doesn't. He comes back. There's two.
He doesn't die.
There's two guys. There's a dead one and a live one, and we don't know. You have to see. But anyway, we just decided to keep him around, but also he's mortally injured because of the idea. It just sets a tone that is almost. Not the word irredeemable, but it's just, even at the end, there's a pallor because you've lost a beloved person. And that's the difference between, say, R and PG-13. So it's great for anyone doing PG-13s. You only get mortally wounded. You don't get fatally wounded. So,
Thank you very much for being here. Congratulations on a fantastic film. My question's to Sly. I think obviously there's a lot of new faces in this film, both young and old, and it really feels like there's a real kind of spirit of passing of the torch with this one. I wondered if you can talk a little bit about the people you brought on board and how much that kind of spirit inspired the film. And, yeah.
Okay, I'll just speak quickly, but I think they should explain it themselves. I felt that it's at a point where we needed to upgrade and retool and bring actors that are known for their physicality, but they're also incredibly dramatic actors, nominated actors, actors that have done films almost in every genre. And I thought this would be interesting. Also, the age factor is that youth must be served. So we brought in the new generation, and it's almost like a parental thing. All children think they know the answers. They get into trouble. Parents come to save them, then they save their parents. Anyway, so it has a kind of a family situation going. But what did you bring to it, my friend? You, I'm talking to you, and you too, yes.
What I bring to it, I see these type of movies always with the possibility to have a wink of an eye to the audience. I brought comedy. I saw possibilities in the character to just make people have comical relief during the movie. I talked to Sly at the beginning, and the character was designed in a way that allowed me to do that very clearly. And he says, you do whatever And so I started playing with that idea in mind. I ended up improvising a lot. I mean, this guy became kind of a compulsive talker. This is a weapon of mass destruction of talking. And just, when I saw my fellow actors start rolling eyes, I said, yes, I am there. You know, I mean, they just wanted to strangle me, you know, basically in every scene. And that actually provokes some laughter. Basically, the character is just hiding something painful inside, and that's his way to do it. But I thought it could be just adding a new color to everything that was on the screen already.
Wesley, what did you feel like you brought to it? Because we've worked together in Demolition Man. We know each other very, very well.
I've been waiting to work with you ever since.
No, thank you.
You were busy, and I was busy.
Really? Where were you, bro?
Yeah. You know, and the opportunity to work with the whole squad of extremely talented and iconic action guys and actors, I was looking forward to that. But I, like Antonio, tried to bring a little bit of humor to the character, and you know, a little bit of my martial arts action where I could get some in and have a great time at the same time.
And Kellan, was there a sort of...
Brought a little bit more color to the...
Yeah. For me, there's a duality between Barney Ross and, you know, John Smiley for me. You know, you never really see the young Barney, and there's an essence of who John is and how he becomes, and, you know, throughout the journey of the script, and potentially, you know, in 4, 5, 6 through 10. Ideally, you'll see that develop in him open up a bit more. And so, you know, my character, he doesn't smile. You know, he has a lot of weight on his shoulders from his past, and, you know, Barney Ross gets in there. You know, he's one of the few that can actually get in there. And, you know, so my character is more of the drama queen, I guess. But he'll open up. He will.
Through 10, is that a confirmation we're going through 10?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes.
You heard it here first. And Jason, as someone who's been there from the very beginning, an Expendables staple, how do you react when all these youngins come on board and new members of the
I
cast?
welcome it. I think it's necessary. It's a necessary evil. You gotta do it. You know, let them get beat up for a while. It's great. We love that. No, it's wonderful. For example, Ronda Rousey's not here, but there was, you know, debate. Well, Ronda Rousey, she's not really an actress. She's a fighter. I said, no, she's a new kind of entertainer, and we're now becoming a lot of us are hybrids, whereas you're Antonio's directed, he's written, he writes, and so does Wesley, and Jason has all these other sides to them. And I thought, well, let's take someone from a world MMA, and I couldn't have been luckier or more right. This girl is one of a kind. She's very sexy, and she also can tie you into a knot and retie you and be charming. And she's, you know, still raw and learning on the job, but we've got something special. Then you have Victor Ortiz, who's like a real world champion. You have real world champions in here. You have professional athletes on championship teams. So you have just a hybrid instead of just all actors, because I don't think it could have been accomplished if it was just all actors. There's some skills there that take an entire lifetime to learn, and that's what we're blessed with by getting to employ those skills.
Absolutely. And Jason, do you want to weigh in on that one?
I think you said it better than anybody else.
I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
Now Magazine. So you're all like really manly, like grr men. But I want to know what the girl. I want to know what the girliest thing about you all is. Like any manicures between you? How many bubble baths do you have?
All right. Let me ask you. When's the last time you had a manicure?
I've never had one, mate.
Oh, please.
I only have the pedicure.
A mani-pedi? Petty man?
Usually we buff it along a curbstone like this, yeah, getting out of a car.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty filthy.
Well, I like manicures.
There's a gentleman here in the front row.
You joked about 4 through 10 But how far do you plan in advance? Do you get ideas and think, oh, that will go for the next movie? And bearing in mind that there's talk of an Expendabelles at some point,
Okay.
are there any women that you would like to see in that?
Yes, there are, and we're now starting to see that you don't have to, again, totally depend on actresses per se, pure. You're going to need a certain kind of physicality to pull that off. Getting back to how many Expendables, Avi, what's the deal? How many do you want?
About 27.
Okay. Jason, how many do you have patience for?
Patience for what, Sly?
Well, how many Expendables before it says, all right, I'm done? I want to be an Expendabelles.
Well, the idea is to make at least another 2 or 3, and then we'll see.
No, in other words, I'm joking here, but we'd like to just continue this because it's an ongoing experiment too. You have a great franchise in the Avengers and all that situation where you can branch off and do other things. Ideally, I would love to see some of these characters like Antonio and the Young Expendables go off and do their own movies. I know that's maybe a pipe dream, and then you come together for the big festival of violence or the great challenge of whoever the villain is. But that would be the ideal. So I think it all depends on this one here. But I could definitely see 1.5 at least more, maybe 2 more, and then you never know. But the third one I've always found is when I started doing films that would have been franchised, I was ridiculed for it. We all were. It's like, oh, but I was always intrigued with television because how can they do 10 years of the same character, of, All in the Family, same location, and yet you watch it, but you do one film, you go, oh, that's the end. Some films are designed like that, but other films you have characters that continue to grow and manifest different personality changes. Now with Expendabelles, you got a situation here where we're in uncharted waters. To put all women together, will that really work? Or do you have to put in perhaps some women that are actually really known to be tough, other MMA fighters? And then are the Expendables really part of a divorce with Barney and say Sigourney Weaver, who's my wife, and she inherited half the Expendables. So that's like, oh, I got to deal with that too. I lost the house and my mercenaries in the group. Like, oh my God. So it's all these things you're trying to concoct. So when we do it, it doesn't just languish there as it's just a use of the name. It actually is something that would hold its own. So.
Sounds like you'd like to face off against the Avengers ultimately, Sly. Is that the idea? Expendables versus the Avengers? That's where you're going?
Yeah, if we could. We'd be the Earthbound Avengers.
There's a gentleman.
The previous 2 Expendables, they've always accentuated the enjoyment that they've had on set, and it's been a real sort of locker room atmosphere. And I wondered whether that was a relief making your comeback, whether to come into that sort of atmosphere where it was very blokey and you could make a joke of things.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I loved it. I mean, it's like you can imagine being on an Olympic team or an Olympic sports team of some sort where you got some of the best players all playing at the same time. So you get the same kind of interaction and interplay and crack jokes with each other. And all of these guys are quite funny in their own right. So, yeah, there's a lot of fun with it.
Oh, good, so you don't mind that I'm writing Escape from Alcatraz 2 for you? We'll have to talk.
And Abby, getting back to the Expendabelles, I was talking to Jacqueline Bisset this morning, and she'd love to play the villain if that film ever comes off.
We never thought about it as a villain, but look, about Expendabelles, we are right now in the finalize of the script. We have got lots of idea about who is going to be all the action movie star ladies, women, and we're planning to do it beginning of next year. And that's all I can say about this movie right now.
Yes, please.
Sylvester, you're the godfather of the Expendables franchise. How do you balance working on the script and then getting all these wonderful actors to join you? How do you tailor it to suit their skills?
Well, you just hit it. It's really a finite number of actors that I think that bring a certain kind of cachet or personality that blends. So you try to not get two of the same, if you know what I mean. And I have long-term relationships with people that I didn't realize how far they go back. But I thought, oh, okay, we've done Expendables 1 and 2. Now we have to up the game. I think Antonio hasn't done an action film, but he's very physical. He can do it. So to answer your question, it's very, very time-consuming. It takes a long time to convince some people, a lot. Literally, you're calling them on your birthday, and you're there for like 4 hours going, yeah, you know, it's my birthday. Do me a favor. Would you say, yes, it's my birthday. I'm talking to you from. And you do a lot of begging and cajoling, and it's wild. And some just immediately, you know, I call Harrison Ford, okay, I'm in. And then Mel wants to know about the part. Originally, I wanted Mel to direct. And I thought, but Mel is such a great director, and everything is so personal, it has to come from him. But he goes, I wouldn't mind playing a villain when... Sold! Sold.
Antonio, were you the gentleman that Sly called on his birthday, by any chance? He seems to be intimating that might be the case.
Well, I think I ran into Sly on a parking lot.
That's right. He was the parking lot negotiation. It was Harrison on the phone.
You should come to be. I don't want to play the bad guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to play the bad guys because they always die, and if there is a franchise, I am not going to be there.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the bad guy.
So he just called me later, and he says, okay, now I have a beautiful part for you. He's an angel. He's a wonderful guy, and he can just have a progression in future franchises. I mean, movies and stuff like that. So he said, absolutely. I'll be there with you, my friend. We became very good friends, actually, when we did Assassins years ago.
That was great.
It was a great shooting, and ever since we did work together. I realized last night, but we actually not together, but in one of the Spy Kids.
Oh,
#3.
stop already.
But yeah,
Stop.
It was good, man. It was my franchise.
I know. I know. Oh
Action
my
Kids
God.
franchise.
Now it's getting really personal.
I'm gonna bring Puss in Boots.
Kellan, what were your negotiations like with Sly?
You know, this dates back to 2009 when the first Expendables came around, and there was a young Expendable in that one, and I auditioned. It was during the Twilight years, and for some reason, we were just talking about this, I had a black eye and scraps from some stunt I was doing, so Sly liked that. He's like, all right, this kid can take a hit. You know, he likes doing this stuff. And then due to dates and them rewriting the script and taking the character out, that character wasn't in there. So I was kind of bummed, and then the third one came around, and you know, it's a whole legion of young Expendables. I got to meet with Avi on Hercules, and he kept on pushing Expendables 3 and the meetings for Hercules, and I'm like, what about Hercules? You know, you thinking about me for this one? He's like, yeah, but Expendables 3, we're thinking about doing this. So, yeah, from day one, I wanted to be a part of it. Huge action junkie, you know, huge fan of Jason's and Sly and Arnie and, you know, all these guys. You got Blade in here, you got Zorro. I mean, for me, it was the characters. Growing up in the Midwest,
You got 3 vampires on this dais here. Think about it.
So it was a no-brainer.
3 separate movies. My God, you guys really suck. really suck, for real.
Literally. So yeah, I met with Sly, and I went up to his house. We talked the character, and you know, he gave me the stamp of approval. His daughters were Twilight fans, so that always helps.
Wesley, what were your negotiations like?
Say again?
What were your negotiations like with Sly for this?
Distant.
Yeah.
Did he just call up and
Very
go,
easy.
be in the movie?
Very easy. We
Very
to-
easy. You know,
we told him how much is he getting, when is he coming, and that's why he said yes.
Pretty much.
And Jason, the same for you? And now it's the third time round?
No, it's the one he called on his birthday, actually. No, I remember we sat down we had a lunch together, and he said, do you want to come to work? And I said, what's the role? And he said, no, I just need someone to make my sandwiches. My chef's died. And that was it.
Did you go for it?
Yes, please. Second row. Thank you.
It's a question for Sly and Wesley. You mentioned working together on Demolition Man. Was there at any point any talk of dyeing your hair blonde again to do the Simon Phoenix hairstyle?
Oh yeah, I dare you to ask him to dye his hair blonde again.
He hinted at it, but I refused.
That was a lot of work, man. I thought, wow.
Yeah, I
It was
remember
a lot of work.
Yeah, that blonde hair. My hair fell out.
I know, literally his hair fell off.
Yeah.
And we had
to buy some more.
This little blonde divot every morning. It was great to hit balls off of. It was great.
There's a gentleman here.
I just wanted to ask the panel, actually, because you've had a lot of great action in your careers, if you have like a favourite moment, be it a fight or a stunt scene or a car chase, that you're particularly proud of, one that really stands out from any film you've done.
Should we start with Kellan and work our way down?
Yeah.
Kellan, I'll start with you.
What was it? Just favorite scene?
Yeah, any kind of favourite action scene that you've done.
You know, I mean, honestly, being a part of this movie, that's to date. You know, I've done only a few action movies. I love doing action movies, but the one that stands out is when all of us were in the helicopter. We have, you know, a slide running. I'm not going to give the end of the movie or anything, but just having everyone who I grew up watching in a helicopter together and just cracking jokes. Yeah, Victor Ortiz farting, you know, it's and you're kind of locked in, harnessed in, so you can't fall out of the helicopter. So you're a bit imprisoned by the gas.
Interesting image. Antonio.
I don't know.
Something from Shrek. Come on.
Those stunts are tough, man. But no, and anything that has to do, I feel proud, anything that has to do with horses and sword fighting in Zorro. I put a lot of interest and time into those things, so I'm proud of that, actually.
And Sly, you've got one.
I've been lucky. I've had so many interesting ones, like, you know, falling through trees in First Blood, doing the last third of the tree, getting wiped out. I'm really proud of. Matter of fact, I filmed it in slow motion because I didn't know if I was going to get murdered, killed on it. When in Rambo 3, there was no CGI, and one is we almost get hit by a helicopter, literally on horseback, and the second one's playing the Buzkazi game, where it's a real game where you play with the body of a dead sheep. It's a Afghan game, and that was done for real. But overall, I would say dealing with Dolph Lundgren and Rocky IV, that was brutal. I mean, really brutal. He was so unbelievably powerful. It's hard to describe him. I mean, he almost killed me. So, but the idea of having, in other words, you sustain, you say, oh, an action beat. Hanging from, in Cliffhanger was absolutely amazing, because I hate heights, and it's 4,000 feet. You're going, how'd they talk me into this? Really? I don't like being in cowboy boots. Even that's too high. And I said, what am I doing here? But the idea of sustaining a 15-round fighting, you know that it took 6 months, so it's really one long stunt. That is what I'm proud of, because I know I could never even come close to doing that again today. So thanks, Dolph, for the injuries.
Jason?
I don't know. You do a lot of different things, riding jet skis, and I think one that sticks in my memory would possibly be having a fist fight outside a helicopter standing on the skids on a movie called Crank. I think that was quite adrenaline-fueled. It was a pretty scary moment because we actually took off from the top of a tall building, so there was no sort of an adjustment to sort of leaving the ground. You can sort of adjust and get used to it, but we took off a building that was already 2,000 feet in the air, so as you get over the edge, you get, a serious sort of rush. I think that one sticks in my mind. I'll never forget that day.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Wesley?
Yeah, I think I recall like one of the most memorable stunts was wearing 14-inch size 3-inch heels with John Leguizamo and Tuan Fu and running down the street. And
that was pretty hairy.
It was rough, man. It took a lot. It took a lot.
It did take a lot of guts.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
I think Expendables 3 is the biggest action movie that I've done, and I've done many. It's really got everything there in this movie, from train, helicopter, boat, guns, you name it, it's in this movie, and you will see it in the movie.
You seem to have a lot of fun when you make these movies, and as you said, there's a great blend of personnel. What I'm interested to know is, how much does that bring a friendly rivalry / competitive edge between you when you're on set in terms of trying to outdo each other?
But I respect these guys greatly, you know, and I'm also a fan of their work. So the opportunity to work with them and then find out not only are they real guys, but they have very wide, colorful personalities, and I can resonate with them. That's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
You know? And I never played a real team sport, so this is about the closest I've gotten to being on a team. You know.
It is like a team. It really is like a team sport. You're right. Everyone just has very, very healthy egos and athletic ability, and some are very, very good actors. And you're going to be competitive. Nobody wants to be the one sitting there looking like a piece of chewed string at the end of the scene. It's like, boy, did I get wiped out. So you do your best. So inviting these actors, like when I'm working with Harrison Ford, he's like minimalist, and I'm thinking, oh God, I'm just eating him up on screen, and then I see the dailies. I go, you were just swallowed, Sly. You know, he's good. You know what I mean? They're very, very, very good, very good. So I appreciate them coming on board, and I think we have eons to go now that I just see there's so many other actors that you can bring. Even Kelsey Grammer. Are you kidding me? Kelsey Grammer? Kelsey Grammer is amazing. And he's got an incredible range. So you could use him at the beginning of the plot of Expendables 4. Here, knock on the door. Hey, Kelsey, what's up? Oh, let me explain to you what's going on. And then that's the beginning of another one. You just have so many opportunities now because it's not just athletic actors. There's an opportunity now for just real actors to do athletic things and make it just advance the project more and more and more.
Hi, it's Mark Gandolfi from Film News. It's a question for Avi. What's it like working with such a talented array of actors, and who's the easiest to work with, and more importantly, who's the most difficult?
There's nobody easy to work with, though. Nobody. But look...
who's the most difficult?
Sylvester Stallone.
That's right. Harry, don't believe this. Harry Knowles is here, my great friend. He knows we work together on Spy Kids, and he knows I'm just a pushover, Harry. Don't believe it.
The key is the harmony, and that's what, with the help, and I mean it, although Sly is one of the main actors in the movie, but he's also a director. He's also a writer. He serves the coffee to all every morning. He does the wardrobe and so on. But with the help of Sly and all these great actors, we have 7 franchise actors in this movie. 7. It's never happened before. So on one side it was a challenge, but on the other hand, I'm very happy.
Fantastic. Seems a good note on which to end. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for all your questions. And thanks, of course, to Avi Lerner, Wesley Snipes, Jason Statham, Sylvester Stallone, Antonio Banderas, and Kellan Lutz. Thank you very much, Lee.
Oh, my God.
It's close.